Genetically modified organisms, often called GMOs, represent one of the most transformative innovations in modern agriculture and science. By altering the genetic makeup of plants and animals, we have unlocked new potentials for solving global food shortages, improving the nutritional value of our food, and even reducing the harmful environmental effects of traditional farming practices. But with great power comes great responsibility. As we push forward into this brave new world of biotechnology, we must carefully consider the ethical implications of modifying the very building blocks of life. How do we balance the promise of innovation with the duty to protect our planet, our health, and our societies? Today, we'll explore these important questions and discuss how we can ensure that GMO research is conducted responsibly and transparently. One of the most pressing ethical concerns when it comes to GMOs is the potential impact on our environment and biodiversity. The introduction of genetically modified organisms into ecosystems can lead to unintended consequences that are difficult to predict or reverse. For example, genes from genetically modified crops might transfer to wild relatives, creating hybrid species that disrupt the balance of local ecosystems. Critics worry that this could lead to the loss of natural species, as well as the reduction of biodiversity, which is essential for a healthy, functioning environment. If we lose that biodiversity, we risk damaging ecosystems that we rely on for clean air, water, and soil health. The question we must ask ourselves is this: is it worth the risk to tamper with nature in ways that could have lasting and irreversible effects? When it comes to GMOs, one of the primary concerns for the public is food safety. For decades, scientists have assured us that genetically modified foods are just as safe, if not safer, than their traditional counterparts. Yet, the debate over potential long-term health risks continues. Some people are concerned that genetically modified foods could introduce new allergens or toxins into our food supply, while others argue that the manipulation of genetic material could lead to unforeseen effects on our bodies over time. While the majority of scientific research shows that GMOs are safe, the truth is that we don't yet know all of the long-term consequences. This uncertainty calls for thorough testing and transparent reporting, ensuring that consumers have access to the information they need to make informed choices about the food they put on their tables. Beyond health and environmental concerns, GMOs also raise significant ethical questions related to socioeconomic inequality. Large biotech companies dominate the market for genetically modified seeds, often patenting the very building blocks of agriculture. This creates a system where small-scale farmers, particularly those in developing nations, become dependent on expensive, patented seeds and the chemicals required to grow them. These farmers may find themselves trapped in a cycle of debt, unable to compete with large industrial farms that can afford the latest technologies. As a result, the gap between the wealthy and the poor widens, with rural farmers bearing the brunt of these inequalities. It is crucial that we find ways to make the benefits of GMOs more accessible to all, ensuring that small farmers are not left behind in the race for technological advancement. The issue of intellectual property rights is another significant ethical concern in the world of GMO research. When biotech companies patent genetically modified seeds, they gain control over the distribution and use of those seeds. This can create serious problems for farmers, particularly those who traditionally save and replant seeds from their harvest. Under current patent laws, many farmers are forced to buy new seeds every planting season, increasing their financial burden. For some, this cycle of dependence is unsustainable. The question we must ask ourselves is this: should anyone have the right to patent life itself? And how do we ensure that farmers' rights are protected while still encouraging innovation in agriculture? GMOs don't just raise ethical concerns about science and economics, they also touch on deep cultural and religious beliefs. For many people, altering the genetic makeup of plants and animals is seen as interfering with nature, or even playing the role of a creator. Some cultures and religions view all living things as sacred and believe that humans should not meddle with the natural order. As researchers and scientists, it's essential to engage with these diverse viewpoints and show respect for the values and beliefs of different communities. Ethical GMO research should involve open dialogue with all stakeholders, ensuring that cultural sensitivities are acknowledged and respected. Informed consent is a cornerstone of ethical research, and GMO research is no exception. Communities and individuals affected by GMOs have the right to fully understand what these organisms are, how they are produced, and what potential risks they carry before making decisions about their use. This is particularly important when it comes to testing GMOs in real-world settings. The public must be involved in the decision-making process, and researchers must provide clear, accessible information. Without transparency, can we truly say that consent is informed? It is our responsibility to ensure that every participant in GMO research, whether they are a farmer, a consumer, or a member of a vulnerable community, is fully aware of what is at stake. In some cases, GMO research and products are tested or introduced in vulnerable communities, often without fully informed consent. These populations, whether impoverished, rural, or marginalized, may lack the resources to evaluate the risks and benefits of genetically modified crops. Ethical guidelines must ensure that no community is exploited for the sake of research. It's critical that these populations are not just passive recipients of GMO products, but active participants in the research process. This means giving them the knowledge and tools to make informed decisions and ensuring that their voices are heard. As we look to the future, it's clear that GMOs will continue to play a major role in addressing global challenges such as food security, climate change, and environmental sustainability. But with this great power comes the need for great responsibility. We must ensure that GMO research is conducted ethically, with full transparency, and with respect for the environment and human health. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has given you a clearer understanding of the ethical considerations involved in GMO research. Remember, the pursuit of scientific progress must always be balanced with our moral and ethical responsibilities.